everyone. So I'm alone and bored at my mom's house. So I decided to make a video based on the questions people keep asking me. As you all hopefully know by now, I'm leaving for the Air Force August 20th. So yeah, I wrote down a few notes just to keep me on track. I'm not trying to go on and ramble. So these will hopefully keep my mind on track, But some questions I keep getting asked. Well, first things first, I leave August 20th to basic training. I'll get more into that later, like the process and whatnot. But the number one questions I keep getting is people are just shocked, I guess, because 1 minute I was in school and the next I'm going to the military. They're like, that's really extreme, and I don't know. People are supportive. They're just surprised, I think. It didn't feel that extreme to me, but how I got to this point, I was in college. I was at Central Washington University for about a year and a half or so, and a few things happened. I'm not really going to go into that, but there were just things I wasn't prepared to deal with on my own. And so I moved back west to be with family. And so I just figured I would get a job. I would be a server, and I would just save up money to pay off what I owed to the school or get a little apartment. I just saw myself getting back into school within a couple quarters. I wasn't too concerned about it. I just needed time to be with my family and to just get my head straight again. But, I'm reading, sorry. Okay. But, so why did I end up, how did I go into the military? Okay, so I moved back to Linwood with my sister. I love you, Mika. Yeah. Okay, so I moved back to Linwood. So yeah, I thought everything was going to be good. I thought I would just start getting these paychecks and I would just get back into school. It would be easy. It seemed like such a simple process. I got my first paycheck. I got a job at a restaurant. I got my first paycheck and it was $100 and something. I was like, what am I going to do with $100 and something? Like, that's maybe my car insurance. Maybe. Yeah, but I don't intend to live out of my car. So, yeah, that was problematic. So I was like, you know what? It's going to be better next time, Just going to get more hours. It's nothing, So, next paycheck comes around. It's $200 something. And I'm like, still can't really live off of that. So that's a little problematic, a little concerning. So I started looking around and trying to find a server job, because at that time I was working at a host. I still am, but yeah. I was trying to find a server job, but because the server job I worked before was catering, all the restaurant jobs wanted to act all bougie, like there was a huge difference between the two, and they didn't want to hire me. So I was like, crap, okay, so that doesn't work out. So every one of my paychecks since then was $200 something, just being a host at the restaurant I'm working at. And so after 2 or 3 paychecks, I was like, look, I can't live off this, let alone pay back what I owe to the school to get back into school. So I felt like I was having a midlife crisis, as stupid as that sounds. I had left school, and now I was stuck in a downward spiral. That's how I saw it. I didn't see how I was going to succeed off of the type of money I was making. So it seemed like a very easy decision. So I joined the military. I went to go talk to some recruiters. I started off at the Marines. They shot me down immediately. He's like, oh, you sound great, blah, blah, blah. How many tattoos do you have? 6. Oh, that's too many. I was like, okay. Yep. So next I went to the Navy, and they seemed cool, but he was like eager to sign me up that same day practically. And I was like, well, maybe I should just talk to some people, get some opinions, especially from people who know me well and have different experiences through the military. So I talked to my cousin who's in the Air Force. I talked to one of my sister's friends, coworkers that was in the Air Force, and different people who had different experiences with different branches in the military. And I basically concluded that the Air Force would be the best thing for me. They seem to have a high emphasis on education, and I was confident that they would never interfere with me getting my education. Like they wouldn't object to me going back to college or anything like that. As long as I served my duty to them. I understand that, obviously. So yeah, that's why I ended up with the Air Force. So the process was, so yeah, there's a ton of paperwork. I think it was like 20 pages. So you fill all that out. Yeah, they ask you a lot of questions. You fill that out, give it to your recruiter. They set up an appointment to MEPS, which is basically like a processing center. You take the entrance exam called the ASVAB. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that. You could Google it if you're really that curious. I thought it was really hard. There was questions that I completely guessed on, and I was pretty sure I had failed some sections. So I was panicking by the time I got home that night. That night, you actually stay in a hotel, the Marriott. The food is great. Yeah. And the next day, we were up at 7 o'clock in the morning for the medical exam. And then after the medical exams, we got the results to the ASVAB, and we had to lift some weight. And those two together would decide the selection of jobs that we had available to us. And so we picked, I believe it was 7 jobs out of that list, and then a general aptitude. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Yeah. I ended up getting like the first or second job on my list, which was emergency management. And my recruiter told me it was because I scored so high on the ASVAB. I got a 93. The highest score is a 99. So, yeah, I got a job in less than a week. Although that's not normal from what I hear. So don't expect that. I've heard of people being in the delayed entry program. I think that's what it's called. It's DEP for short. But being in that program for up to 11 months, the maximum is 12 months. So, yeah. Yeah, so I got my job. It's emergency management. I'd say Google it just because I'm not sure about the specific boundaries of my job specifically until I start training for it. I leave August 20th for basic training. You can Google that too. I'm just trying to make this as short as possible, so I'm not going too into depth about anything in particular. Basic training is 2 months. It's in San Antonio, Lockland. And then after those 2 months, I go to Missouri to actually learn my job. And then toward the end of my 4 months or so in Missouri, they'll tell me where I will be stationed long term. It'll probably be like a year or so. But toward the beginning of tech training, which is in Missouri for me, they give you what is called a dream sheet, and it's where you list out 7 places, I think it's 7 or 8, something like that, where you list out places you would like to be stationed, and if you're lucky, then you might get stationed at one of those places. So hopefully that'll be me. But yeah. That's enough for the process, I guess. Where I'll be stationed. Women in the military. Am I scared of being a minority? A lot of people ask me that. I'm just not. I mean, I feel like I've been a minority all my life in one way or another. I stand out where I grew up. I don't know. People always call me whitewashed just because I sound educated and whatnot. I'm Black and Puerto Rican, and I was always one of the few minorities in my classes because I always was in advanced placement classes. So, I mean, I'm not really concerned about that, really and truly. It's whatever. Hair in the military. Basic training, you get like 5 minutes to do your hair. So, rather than risk my hair mildewing, which I have heard cases of, I'd rather just cut it all off and just be able to just throw water in it in the morning. Air Force has a minimum of 1 inch long hair for females, so as long as it's 1 inch long, I'm good. So yeah, I'm just going to do like a cute little pixie cut, and if I hate it, I'll get a weave when I get to to Missouri, but it's just so that I can get ready quickly in the morning. I'm not scared of this commitment I made. I'm just excited to be making decent money. Like, I'll be making over 3 times as much money I make in a month here. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah. So I don't regret my decision at all. Not even for a second. My goals, short term, was to get through the military. I want to finish my BA while I'm in the Air Force. Long term, I do want to go to medical school after I get out of the Air Force. I want to be a surgeon. I'm not sure if I'll stick to that, but I definitely do want to be in the medical field. But most importantly, I just want to be successful. I don't make drastic decisions just because it's exciting to me. Just because I don't want to struggle. Like I said, I just want to be successful. Trey Songz said it best. But yeah, thanks for listening to me. For anyone who cared. But yeah, I love you all. Hit me before I leave. Okay, bye.